We are live. Hello, hello, hello. It's me. And over there, over this way, is going to be Lisa. I had to get my fingers right, pointing in the right direction. You on, Lisa?
Yeah, I am right here. I'm
Okay,
getting,
just
I'm
checking.
getting YouTube up so that I can have the YouTube chat available.
Yeah, I've got the chat up. I don't know if we're going to get anything or not. I was checking the comments just to make sure they were working. So it looks like they are anyway. But anyway, what you say we get to painting?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let me get rid of this keyboard here.
Hi, Teresa.
Teresa, hi. I didn't think you were going to be able to show up. Being out of
Surprise,
town.
surprise, surprise.
I know. I'm so happy to see you. Oh, they're working.
What is not working, Teresa?
They're not working. What's not working? Your family isn't. It may be that they're not at work, and so she doesn't have to play babies.
Oh, okay, okay.
That's what I'm thinking anyway.
That might be it.
What I'm doing is I'm going to paint first on the paper. I'm going to let it dry, and then I'm going to put some tape on it and rip it off and see what it does. Lisa is going to tape hers first. Hi, Doretha. We're early, aren't we? We couldn't help ourselves. What am I painting? I'm painting this brown bag in front of me. We're just going for today. Lisa's going to be taping hers up first. I'm going to be painting mine first. Then we're going to rip that tape off, both of us, and see what we get. So we're just painting. We're just putting paper and paint together.
And I'm using just some painter's tape that I bought at the junk store a while back. I didn't even know it was painter's tape. I just thought it was kind of cool and it was quarter. So
Yeah,
I'm finally
yeah,
making use of it.
yeah. Well, I got that blue stuff that my husband's like, that's expensive. So I'm gonna have to look at the dollar store and see if there's any
They
that I
may
can use.
have it. I could have gone downstairs and got some wider tape because there is some down there,
Yeah.
but I would have gotten the same message. I'm telling you,
Mm-hmm.
it had it saves so much time though. When we paint, he'll tape out the trim and then he'll roll for us. He'll roll the paint, and I go along the edges with the brush. So
Yeah.
between the two of us, we got a pretty good team for painting. We
I
get it
am
done
I
pretty
am not a
easy.
painter. I mean, as far as like house painting and all that, I
Hmm.
don't have the hands for it. My hands end up shaking and it's just a mess. I'm just slapping some paint here in my palette to get myself going.
Hi, Steph. Welcome.
Hey, Steph.
We're glad you caught us when we snuck on early.
We got too excited.
So if you want to follow along with us, just grab some scrap paper. All we're doing is we have our Amazon packaging that is free for us to reuse, and we're going to do some kind of abstract painting with acrylics. So it's kind of an easy thing. Just grab what you have. If you don't have tape available to you, you can also lay a piece of paper down and move it. That would work as well. If you don't have, areas that you can block off, you could use a post-it note. You could use an index card or junk mail, envelopes, lots of different things.
Now I'm just putting blobs of paint wherever in front of me, and then after I get what's in my palette used up, then I'll switch to a different color.
Tea and toast, that sounds kind of yummy.
Don't it though?
My daughter started, she goes through cravings, and
Yes.
there for a while, it was avocado toast. And then lately it's been cinnamon toast, and I can't hardly resist the bread when I smell that cinnamon toast.
Yeah.
It's very difficult because I
Mhm.
try not to eat the bread.
Yeah. You can hang that up, Lisa. Just
Eh,
give in.
Well, I know it's not easy. I mean, my reason for it is that it seems when I avoid the bread, I do a lot better with my sugar. It stays
Oh, okay.
regulated a little bit better. But
Yeah.
I do like a little bit of bread, but I can live without bread. The hardest thing to live without is ice cream.
Oh, see, give me fresh bread and it's on.
Yeah, my husband's a big bread eater, so
What's funny is I'm really not, but unless it's fresh out of the oven, warm and fresh, that's when I have my problems with it.
you should have seen the big slices of bread when we were in Scotland. The slices of bread are humongous compared to
I
ours,
bet.
but now their loaves are smaller.
Yeah,
They're like a lot shorter, but
yeah,
I couldn't believe how big a slice of bread was.
yeah.
Mm.
You're stuck on garlic toast, Steph?
Ooh, I love garlic bread.
Hey,
I
you're
don't.
having garlic for breakfast? Garlic bread for breakfast? That's good. That.
Yeah, you're definitely a diehard on that.
Yeah, definitely.
I've gotten to where if we have any garlic bread left over, Steph, I crumble it up and put it in when I make hamburgers. I use it for my breadcrumbs.
That's a good idea.
It actually gives it a pretty neat flavor, so
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
Yes, roll off paper, paper bag, anything. We're just going to be childlike. We're going to not be worried about what the outcome is. We're just going to
Go
really
for it.
let ourselves be free to just mess with the paint.
Yep. Like I said, I just took all my paint out. All my acrylics are out. And I dumped 3 on my palette, and I'm just gonna go use it up, and then I'll switch. There's no rhyme or reason as to the paint colors I'm choosing. I'm just grabbing a bottle.
And I looked in there and I said, okay, I'll take this, and this because I didn't want to think about it too much.
Hmm. That's why I just threw it all out here because I'm not going. If I didn't put it all out, then I would be, I would be wanting another color or something. So it's just easier for me just to throw it all out here and go for it.
So butter roll, how did you get your name? Do you make buttered rolls or do you like them a lot? I've never asked.
Yeah, inquiring minds want to know, Doretha.
I'm just nosy.
we,
I'll be
we're
honest.
very inquiring.
Before long, I'm not gonna have as much time to play. I'm gonna be out getting leaves up with my husband. You know
Yeah.
why?
Why?
Because I normally help him, and last year they come out with a battery operated blower that was
Yep.
a little bit smaller than
Yep.
would be smaller and easier than the backpack.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
they also came out with a heavy duty backpack that blows a lot more.
My
Because,
husband has one that's not a backpack, but it is a heavy duty.
well, it takes us, okay, for instance, before he got the new one, And
Uh-huh.
we bought me my own battery held one, which will
Yeah.
run about an hour. But that gives me time to get around the house,
Yeah.
directly around the house and not where our landscaping is. But
Yeah.
it used to would take us as much as 6 hours. And
Oh goodness.
with the new one and getting me one, we've got it down to just about 2.5 hours, and that's even on a heavy day. But we will get leaves up at least once a week, sometimes twice a week during the peak season, and it's
Yeah.
coming.
It's
It's
coming. If it ain't here yet, it's coming.
Oh, that's so sweet. So he gave your grandpa gave all the babies a nickname. You must have liked rolls, your butter on your rolls when you were little. That's so sweet.
Well, that's cute, Dorothy, to be able to get use something that your grandfather gave you a name in business to where it can keep going. Cool. You're doing these big splotches, Lisa, and I'm using this little brush. And
Well, I'm gonna switch. I'm not gonna use this same brush for the whole thing. I don't think I've got.
I've got some big ones, but I just thought,
Oh,
I
it
don't know
don't
why.
matter. It really
Yeah,
don't
I know it
matter. I
does.
just thought this
I
is
just
one I
looked up
like
and
a
saw that
lot.
brush and went, good.
This is one of my favorite brushes. So
Yeah.
I
We all
I
have our
reach for it
favorites.
often. I've got a couple of brushes that were my mom's, and
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about using them. They've been around a very long time, but there's something about using those that it just makes me feel good because she had
Yeah.
all this arts and crafts stuff, and
Yeah.
she didn't want to let it go at one point, and then she started just giving stuff away because she knew, she
It was
just wasn't
coming.
enjoying it anymore. And I was so proud of her when she did that. But the brushes were the last thing she let go of.
Yeah.
And I was over there and she said, I need you to clean out my paint cabinet. I said, okay, Mom. I said, what are we going to do with it? I said, do you want to donate it? She said, no, I want it to go to your house. Like I should have known.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of funny.
Yeah.
But she spent good money on the stuff that she used for her craft. She didn't buy the cheap stuff necessarily. She would buy
Yeah.
what worked the best and what would last the longest. And
The longest.
you'd be shocked to know she's been gone 5 years and I'm still using paint. I still have some paints. Matter of fact, the purple I'm using is
Yeah.
definitely one that came from her house.
Our house.
Hmm. But I kind of feel like she's probably up in heaven laughing, saying, "Look, she did use those paints. I knew she would. She knew if she sent them over here, I would use them eventually." But the kids paint too.
Yeah.
If they need paint, the first thing they do is come look and see what's in the tub before they go and buy. So
Yeah. See what
they,
they can get their hands on.
well, we kind of keep it in a central location for that very
Oh well,
reason.
that's it. Good.
Because we were all buying paint, and I said, this is ridiculous. Y'all are buying paint and then you use it one time and it's sitting in the attic drying out. I said, this is what we're going to do. And so that's when we switched to a more practical method.
Yeah.
It's my brush that my beautician gave me in my home take home color kit.
Uh-huh.
And I've been using it to paint with. It's too nice to throw away.
Yeah. I can understand that. I would too. I'm using old brushes that when I used to do ceramics that I
Yep.
had. So those are the ones I'm using.
Well, that's where my stuff came from. When I was growing up, after second grade, my mom opened a ceramic shop in our basement.
Oh,
And so if you want to talk ceramics, I can take you through the whole process, start to finish.
mm-hmm.
I,
Yep.
I,
I like
I,
dry brushing the most.
Dry brushing's fun. When that
I love
technique,
dry brushing.
when we learned that technique, it was kind of cool. I remember the first thing my mom did was a big owl, and it was so pretty. That thing was huge. It was about,
Yeah.
oh gosh, it was just under 30, 36 inches.
Oh,
So
good night.
it was big, big.
But did y'all use the dark to light method for dry brushing?
Light to dark.
We use dark to light.
Yeah, we never used the dark to light.
I mean, you go with black and then you bring it up to give it that antique look.
Did you use chalk?
No, we used acrylics.
We used chalk.
Well, see, I never used chalk. That could be fun.
But some of those same techniques will work with a lot of the things that we try to produce.
Yeah.
At least I feel like it does. I feel like you can kind of cross over what you've learned in one place and use it in another.
In another. Well, I have found that for me, anything I do, it seems I can use some of the same techniques, but I can also use the same supplies.
Yes.
Which makes me very happy.
Well, when you know how something acts, I think you are more prone to use it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could open a ceramic shop in a heartbeat, but the work is really hard.
Yeah, I mean pouring alone.
Some of the molds that we had, like that owl, when that thing was full, it probably weighed 75 pounds or better.
Ooh, yeah.
And I'm not totally convinced that some of my spine issues aren't from doing that when I was so young, because they say that kids don't need to lift certain weights until they get to a certain age because the bones are still growing. Yeah. Well, we didn't know that back then.
Yeah.
So I certainly lifted heavier things than I needed to be lifting, but my dad would do it when he was home, but he was on the road a lot. He drove a truck.
Yeah.
But we all pitched in.
Yeah. My mom still has her kiln.
Really?
Yeah.
Mom had, when Mom closed up her shop, she had 4 kilns total. She sold 3 of them, which were big kilns, and they had extensions so that they were so tall that we could just barely reach over inside them. Yeah. But that's what it took to get everything done in a timely manner.
Yeah.
We did what we had to. We outgrew the house, the basement. We outgrew the basement and ended up going in a shopping center, and we would turn them on and run them during the day, but sometimes during holiday seasons, especially around Christmas, we would have to run up there at night, just to make sure that the automatic cutoff had working. Yeah.
Well, I remember my mom still has some bisque which is already fired clay. Just for anybody that doesn't know what we're talking about.
Right.
It's already been fired. It's already been put in a oven, for say, in a kiln, and baked to where it's hard. We usually that's what I worked on mostly, was bisque. I did not like working in greenware, which is called what it is when it's molded but has not been baked yet.
Exactly.
I hated working with greenware. Oh.
I hear people talk about how bad glue is, but did you find working with the greenware that your hands got really the skin? It's like it messed with your skin. You couldn't.
My skin got dry. It dried my skin out.
Exactly.
It would dry your skin out, and so it wouldn't mess with your hands. And I have small hands, so my mom and sister would give me the greenware to check after they cleaned it. After they got the seams from the mold off of it, they'd have me check it to see if they missed any, because my hands were so small. I'm like, great.
I think that's interesting. I didn't mind handling the greenware that much. I mean, I did what I had to do.
Yeah.
As I became a teenager, my mom would give me $20 a week to work in the shop, and I would put in sometimes 20, 25 hours even after school.
Yeah.
So it was just, that supplemented the income in our house, and it was pretty much necessary to make ends meet because my
Yeah.
brother and I both were in private school.
Yeah.
We went to a church school, so,
Yeah.
and that cost money.
Yeah. I'm sure it does.
It wasn't near as expensive as it is now.
Yeah.
I don't know how people afford it. I know why people homeschool.
Yeah. Well, my nieces, two boys, are in private school, and they're loving it, but it's expensive. Well, she thought she was going to have to pull them out because it was getting too expensive for her. And
Well, here it starts at about 1,200 a month and goes up from there, depending on where
uh-huh.
you take them, and that's just
That's just
it's
beginning.
awful.
That doesn't include the their uniforms or whatever it is they can wear to school
Right, and
or
all
any of that stuff. Or if they're going to play sports, like my nephew
exactly. There's
is
fees
playing
for
football.
where in private school you might pay a real small amount. When they're in private school, you are the sponsor.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Because
it makes a
my
difference.
sister homeschooled all of her kids.
I just
Ever-
I could have done it. Between the two of us, we could have done it, but we just really felt like they needed the socialization as well. So
Uh-huh.
at that time, there weren't that many organizations where you could kind of group together with other homeschoolers.
Yeah, that was early
And
on. Yeah.
by the time our youngest was in high school, they had started, several counties had their own homeschool associations, and they were really doing a very good job. Those students were coming out with, a lot of advantages over the public school
Over
kids.
public schools. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. How you coming along? Let's see.
I'm just just over here making circles and slapping paint down until I run out of it in my palette. And then I switch to another color. No rhyme or reason, just
It
slapping it
don't
on.
have to be. there doesn't
I'm
have to be a rhyme or a reason.
neither one. It's just there, slapping somewhere. I think it's missing something. There we go. But yours is cool. Mine looks like a big blob. You just put some of that there. And I got my fan on so it dry quicker, hopefully. It may not though. I don't know.
I don't know how long it'll take it to dry up here. It looks like it's drying pretty good. This room is a little on the chilly side. It's on the side of the house that does not get any sunlight,
Hmm.
which is
This
kind of
room
nice in the summer because it doesn't get as hot. But
don't get hot. Yeah, my room gets hot in the summer.
the room across the hall from this one,
Hmm.
it bakes in the summertime.
Yeah, this one gets real hot at a certain time of the day during the summertime. So
So, did your mom have a shop, or did she just do it
no,
as a
she just did
hobby?
it from home. It was like just a craft hobby. I remember going on weekends. It was time to go to the ceramic shops, see what we could find. She did one year. She did a set of reindeer puffy. They were called puff deer. They're like puff. They look like puffy towels or puffy pillows. but they were reindeer, ceramic reindeer.
Cute.
Cute. I don't even know where that stuff is anymore. I don't know what she's done with it.
I made my mother-in-law a Mr. and Miss Claus, and I
Yeah.
painted it to look like them.
Oh, how fun.
And she would get them out, but as they got older and really had difficulty going into the attic, she had Grandpa to go up and get them and
Yeah.
bring them to us. So
Yeah.
we would to make sure that we got them in the end.
To make
And
sure
I
they
thought
got
that
where they
was
should be.
that they came back to us, and I
Yeah.
thought that was so sweet because I made them well before we even married.
Yeah.
But when I get them out, the kids say, "I can't believe you made those." I said, "Yeah, I did." But we didn't have the mold. We would go buy stuff. We would buy molds and things like that from different places. And one of the people that we went to buy stuff from, we buy our slip from them, and sometimes they
Mhm.
would have things that we didn't have, so we would buy them and take them home.
Yeah.
So we always took our boxes and our shredded paper.
Uh-huh. Because you never know.
I know, and
When,
I've seen somebody recently trying to sell some molds, and I think about I look at some of them, the numbers on them, and I think, well, I should know what that is because
yeah.
I actually worked for the the wholesaler that we bought stuff from.
Yeah.
I actually worked for them when I was in community college.
Yeah.
So Mom would always say, "Now, if you see something you think I want, you just go ahead and get it. You want everything."
Of course.
She loved her crafts,
Hmm.
and I can't say the fruit fell far from the tree. I mean, I enjoy doing what I do.
Yeah. How long had you been into gel printing? Is that pretty new for you?
Um, I've been doing it probably coming up maybe 3 years.
Well, see, I'm newer than you are because I've only been doing it maybe a year. Maybe
And
a
I
year.
don't do it all the time, but I'm kind just because I don't have the room to lay things out to dry. I get
Hmm.
frustrated because I don't.
Yeah.
I have a wool rug behind me that was my mother's, and
Uh-huh.
I mean it's not something I want to mess up, and so I
Yeah.
really try to limit how much I can
Keep it.
do and get dried because I'm
Yeah.
just afraid I'll transfer paint.
Yeah. Well, I keep my workroom. I have to keep the floors clear because I'm in and out of a wheelchair. So I have to keep the floors clear to where I can get in and out.
Right.
But so I don't have a lot of. I mean, I do have a lot of dry. I have a lot of space if I would put stuff, find a place for everything and everything have a place. But you might as well tell them art. People who have their little nice clean workrooms and everything's where it belongs and everything is where it needs to be. Is I don't know. I don't know how
It's
they do it.
it's hard to maintain. I mean, I will do really good for a while, but the
Hmm.
more I get things organized and they find a place,
Yep.
the easier it is for me to put them back. Like I've got a designated area for my glue so I don't lose my glue.
Hmm.
Hey, I so you gel okay, Steph says she gel prints in bed. I I'll be doing crafts in bed. I've done crafts in bed before, and it won't be a one time thing, I'm sure, because I will be having that knee surgery. I did get that pushed till after Christmas.
I
We
was
we
going to ask you about that.
it was supposed to be the day before Thanksgiving, and
Yeah, you said that.
we talked about that. And Thanksgiving and Christmas are definitely family days for us, and it just don't seem right not to do it as long as we can. And
Yeah.
the more we thought about it, the more we decided that, that's one thing. My
Yeah.
daughter made a really good point in that, being in the hospital on a holiday, the doctors may not come by early in the morning to discharge, and it could mean, delays getting out of there because they did tell me they want me to stay one night.
Yeah.
And
Which is good. Will
which
they
is
be sending you to rehab afterwards? Like you get out of the hospital, you
no,
go into rehab?
no, I'm coming home. If I was not diabetic, they wouldn't even talk about keeping me that one night. They'd send me on home and do it
Good.
just
Yeah.
outpatient. Yeah,
Mm.
which is kind of bizarre,
Well, yeah,
doing.
that would be to me because I know my husband's friend had knee surgery, and he had to he stayed in the hospital. I know at least 3 or 4 days, and then he had to go to rehab.
Yeah, it depends on the person. If like we
Yeah.
sent my mom to rehab for 2 weeks because that's how long they said she would need help getting up and down.
Yeah.
Um, she was ready to get out of there by about the third day, but they were able to give her therapy and all that. Hey,
Yeah.
Julie Parker,
Hey, girl. Nice
glad
to see
you're on.
you.
We're doing abstract painting today, and we're using different techniques. Um, Michelle she's putting her paint on first, and then she's going to tape over top of it and
And
lift it off. And I have put my tape on first and painted. So I use painter's tape. You can use washi or whatever you have. If you don't have that, you can use an index card. You can use scraps of paper to block off some spots.
I'm just making paint blobs right now.
And I just used some of my pea paint. That means it was running out and it has water added to it, and I'm gonna make it run on
What's a good
purpose.
idea?
So, Steph, do you ever get dog prints in your gel prints? What's your little dog's name? The little wiener.
Aren't both of your dogs little weenie dogs, Steph? I thought they both were. They may not be though. I could be wrong.
Oh, you had stupid dreams? I got a message from somebody I worked with years and years ago, and she said she had dreamed that we were in the vault counting money, that we had to do an audit. I said, "Well, Lord knows, neither one of us counting any money today."
Mm,
I'd like to know how many millions, billions of dollars I counted in the 17 years that I worked around banks.
they've never stomped on a wet gel print yet, and their names are Goldie and Luscious. Both of them are
Oh,
weenies. Oh, how cute!
little wieners.
They're so cute.
That's what the girl that does my hair has a little wiener dog. She's the long haired.
Oh,
And
they are so cute.
when I went the other day with my daughter, she, my daughter, my youngest daughter works from home. And when
Yeah,
she has an appointment, sometimes it'll overlap when she can go. So
yeah,
I will take her because she's working. I will
yeah.
drive her and drop her off with her computer. And when I went in that day to say hey to Charlotte, she had her little dog, and she took pictures. She sent them to her husband, and he was laughing and said, "Oh, grandma, that she gonna be her grandma." I said, "Well, I need some little babies. I guess if they
Yeah.
don't have fur, it's okay."
What did I do? There it is.
I just don't know if I'll have grandbabies or not. If I do, it'll probably be like it was for Bill's parents. They didn't get married until they were 30, in their
Yeah.
30s. And so Bill came right along, but they were always kind of old for parents. And the
Yeah.
same thing, we got married at 25, but I was 29 by the time we had a baby. It makes a difference.
Yeah. I was never able to have any children, so we don't have any.
Yeah, I know that happens to some people, and I
Yeah.
hate it because I mean, Charlotte's one of those people. The one, I mean, they tried and they lost babies, and now they just have fur babies, and they said they just think that that's probably what they were meant to have.
Yeah. Well, this is my not my first marriage, and or my husband's, and there's about 13 years age difference between us. So he's, when I could have had a baby when we first got together, it was not something he was looking for. And I'm
Yeah,
like, well,
well,
yeah, and I couldn't have any anyway, so it was a moot point. It was like, okay, whatever. I can't have any anyway. Wah wah.
sometimes you just you accept what is and go on.
I go on. And it took me a while too. I mean, I had to be old enough for me not to be able to have any, for me to accept it, because that's all I wanted was to be a mommy growing up. Well, what do you want to do when you grow up? I want to be a mommy. That and teach. I want to be mommy and teach.
And you're teaching.
I'm I'm doing something.
Hey, your life is producing fruit.
This is true.
Yeah, when we got the first baby we got pregnant with, I lost it, and I tell you, I thought, it just wasn't going to happen again. It wasn't the most convenient time, and people kept saying, well, if you wait until it's convenient, you won't have a baby. But a little bit of time went by, and about 3 years after that, it happened. So
Yeah. Hi, Cindy. You couldn't have any children either, so you adopted. How cool.
yeah, I think if we couldn't have had children, I would have been willing to take any children.
Me too. I understand that. I would have loved to it. I actually tried to not adopt, but you know, I mean, I hate to put it this way, but there were women that I not knew back then that were getting abortions, and I tried to talk them to let me have the babies. Oh, that's okay. You just have it. I'll take it. Not a problem. But never worked out. I tried
It's
them.
sad. It's sad. It's like the people that don't want to be pregnant get pregnant easily, and people that want to be pregnant, it's a struggle. So
Yeah.
it just I think that I always was around children growing up. I
Yeah.
would go in the nursery and sit with the babies. I mean,
Hmm.
there were some babies in the nursery that would not stay in the nursery if I wasn't there.
They wouldn't stay in there.
They would not. They would pitch a fit. Their parents would have to come back and get them. They wouldn't stay. But there was this one little boy, and he wasn't a bad baby. He just needed a lot of attention because he wasn't getting it at home. And
Oh,
he would not be clean when he got there. He would have been picked up on the bus and brought in. And they had 9 children. And this little baby would still be wearing the diaper he'd gone to bed in, a cloth diaper.
Oh
And
man, how sad.
as soon as they brought him in, I'd take him over to the sink and bathe him and get
Yeah.
him cleaned up. It's like, people have all these children and don't even take care of them, and you've got people that don't have babies that would do anything for them.
Mm-hmm. This is true.
But
Very true.
my mom told me, she says, you're going to have to come out of that nursery. And I said, why? She says, you're never going to meet a man if every time they see you, you got a baby on your hip. I said, well, but I was looking for a man. What do I need a man for?
Let's see. Cindy is saying that she was nearly 28 and Dave was a month from 30. And they'd been married for 8 years at the point that they got their first baby, who was 5 days old.
It makes a difference. I mean, our children are grown, but I mean, they're not ready to settle down by no means. So we will definitely be older grandparents if it ever happens, just like his parents were.
Well, I gotta let this hot mess dry, and then I can put the tape on it. See what it does.
Well, my paper's not dry, but I'm pulling paper.
Oh, you're able to do that with what you're doing, the way you're doing it. Me, I have to let it dry, and I probably put too many layers on it, knowing me. Probably should have just used watered down paint and went for it, but it be what it be. Then 3 years later, you adopted Dave's cousin's little boy. He was nearly 2, and your oldest. He was nearly 2, and your oldest son is 31 and lives with us and is not married.
Yeah, our daughter that's 34, she lives about 5 minutes away, but she's not married. And then
that's good too, to have somebody, even because you can depend on them. If you need somebody, they're there. Because they don't have that family to oh, I'm sorry, Mom, I can't come. So and so's got the flu, or so and so. Becky's got a dance recital tonight. I can't do it, or whatever. We have this here. Oh no, you're not. Piece of paper.
Yeah, that staying with the babies in the nursery prepared me well for babies, that's for sure.
I found out that one of the babies that I used to watch in nursery, because I used to do that too. We were a small church, and I was the oldest. I was one of the only youth in that church, and the other kids under me were all younger. I was the oldest, and I do the babies. And I found out a few years ago that one of the babies had been in Iraq and didn't do well.
Oh,
he made it home, but he didn't do well afterwards. So he decided it was not his living was not what he wanted to do, which is sad because I remember him as a little one.
And that's always hard when you hear that. I mean, my degree is in early childhood development, and I worked in a preschool. And every once in a while, some of the names will pop up, and I'll see what the kids are doing, and it's kind of exciting, to see what they decided to do with their lives.
What they're doing now. I used to do childcare, like nursery, daycare. Love working 3-year-olds with my babies. 3-year-olds were the ones I loved to work with.
Oh, Cindy.
Cindy. Oh.
They see stuff on TV and they think it's okay. it's sad when that happens.
He was 14. How sad, Cindy.
Do you celebrate every year? Do you do something to celebrate his memory? I know my mother-in-law, I was really close with my mother-in-law, and we generally will go over on her birthday because she was born December the 13th. And we used to pick on her, when it was Friday the 13th. She always said, "Ooh," she'd call and say, "Ooh, something spooky's going to happen today," just messing. But, it's not really a celebration. It's just we generally will go to the cemetery that day or leading up to it. We'll ride over there. Luckily, all of our parents are buried in the same place, so it makes it a little bit easy for us. His grandparents and my parents are all in the same cemetery, just in different areas. So we always just ride by, make sure things look neat and
Are
tidy.
being taken care of.
Yeah, yeah. It makes us feel better to do that and know that things look neat and tidy. Because my
Yeah.
mom, she was all about some flowers, while she was
Yeah.
physically able. But once she got to where she couldn't, she asked me, she said, "Now, are you going to keep up with this?" I said, "I guess I am." She sent all the flowers over here, and it filled one whole side of my attic space. And
Goodness.
I've since, kind of given some stuff away.
Yeah.
I'm gonna grab my gel pens, and where this is dry, I'm gonna do
You
some
play with them.
I think.
Go for it. I'm about waiting for this to. I'm about waiting for this to dry so I can yank. That's all I'm gonna do. Is I just want to yank, put the tape down now, and I'm kind of rubbing it in. But this paint is not all dry. It's
Well, that should
still
help
wet.
with lifting, I would think.
I want it to rip. You know what I'm saying?
You want to hear it rip like a band-aid.
Yes, that's exactly what I want to hear. Exactly. If I didn't tape it on too tight, let's see. Now, if I can get the tape off of the paper, it's going to be a new deal. Ooh, it's going to be fun.
Okay, somebody give me a shape. Put it in the chat. Give me a shape.
Give her a shape, guys. Oh man, it's not as fun as I thought it would be. It's keeping the paint on the paper. That's not cool. That wasn't fun.
It wasn't fun?
No, it's not yanking holes in the paper. It's barely picking up any paper, any of the paint.
All right.
That is no fun.
Okay.
No fun at all. Cindy wants you to do an oval, Lisa. Depending where I put paint tape at. I'll put a bunch of tape in here. Where's it at?
One oval.
You made cornbread and an apple crumble to go with dinner. I need to come visit your house. You make some good food, Cindy. I just need to come and stay with you for a couple of weeks, but then Robert may not want me back. I could have gained a bunch of weight eating your good food.
Yeah. I cooked yesterday. I got up, and on Thursdays, that's our house cleaning day.
Yeah.
So I got up and got started, but I had planned to make a big pot of chili beans. So I had a pot of chili beans on one burner, and I made homemade spaghetti sauce on the other side. So it smelled good in here all day.
Yeah.
But today we're getting leftovers.
Hey, sometimes you got to eat those leftovers. I have leftover chipotle from last night, so that's what I'm having tonight. Unless my husband decides on something different.
Yeah, well, I know tomorrow we're going on a cruise in. We're taking our 57 Chevy and going to a cruise in at a church. And so
Yeah,
I know we will be eating out all day tomorrow because if we eat any lunch, it'll be there. And then we're going to the racetrack in Martinsville, Virginia
yeah.
in the evening. So apricot chicken. Oh, that sounds good. How
Uh,
do you make that, Julie? I need more details.
Potatoes and veggies. You're eating turkey. Cindy's eating a taco made with smoked turkey that she found in the freezer from Christmas.
It's okay. I just used up the last of the honey baked ham that was last year's Christmas ham. We've been trying to use up what's in the freezer from last year, so that
Yeah,
I can make sure I have everything ready. I mean, I'll have lots of meals put in the freezer for while I'm rehabilitating because I'm
yes,
not going to be able to stand. And now Zoe can cook.
yeah.
Zoe can cook, but she makes big messes.
Oh, she's not
And
a clean cooker, huh?
no, she's not. Now, as far as being sanitary,
Yes.
she worked at a deli in a grocery store, so she knows how to do all that. She knows how to clean,
Well, that was
but
special.
she don't do it here.
Did y'all hear that?
I
There was
heard.
my paper ripping. That was that paper just ripping. Didn't even rip in the paint area, but a little bit. That's it. The rest of it was off the side.
So maybe it's not quite dry enough for it to rip.
No,
Or
I think
maybe you need
I
a
think the
different.
paper absorbed it. Because I know Beth did this. I know Beth did this, guys, and I know she was ripping stuff off, but I think she did it the way you're doing it. I think they put the tape down first, and then painted everything all over it, and then ripped the tape off.
But there had to have been. She had to have had some kind of paint underneath it.
I don't think so.
I,
Like yours,
I
like
would
with
have
what you're
thought.
doing. They did it like I think like what you're doing. But you would think it'd be taking the paint off if you tape it. It'd still pick up some paint, but it's not picking up hardly nothing. I'm bummed.
Oh, Cindy, I can't do ghost peppers. Bless your heart. I'd be shooting fire for sure.
The fireplace is going on, huh? What do you got? She's got 1 tin of 400 milliliter apricot nectar. Scotch French onion soup mixed together and heat in a saucepan till it's thick. Then put the chicken thighs fillets. Lisa, this is for you, honey. Julie's done getting it down for you.
Okay. So it's apricot nectar. I was curious because I've seen an apricot chicken recipe that called for like a jelly or preserves that had apricot. And that's too much sugar, but the nectar might not be quite as bad. Yeah, Steph, that sounds pretty good. I heard that.
That's when you yank the tape off.
And you're
I
using
mean,
just like Scotch
I'm using
tape.
Scotch tape. And I think and I even tried the blue tape just to see, just because inquiring minds wanted to know. I did anyway. And it didn't take up anything, of course. What is it made to? So, well, that's a bummer. Now I know they don't work. So now we're going to go ahead and do it differently. I got me some
Julie,
parts.
that sounds really yummy.
Doesn't it though?
I wonder, my Zoe is my picky eater. The oldest daughter, she'll eat anything, just about anything, but she can't eat gluten.
Yeah. I am crumbling up. I will turn away from the microphone. There. That brown paper just hit the trash can.
Are you giving up on it?
I gave up on them like it ain't
Don't
plain
throw it away. Don't throw it away. You can make something.
It wasn't doing nothing.
It's
ain't
okay.
doing it made me angry.
Well, don't let it make you angry. Save it, and when you get your gel plate out,
we could.
You use
we could
it.
Play with it.
Once you
Let
put
me throw it. I'll throw the little ball that I made it into over here with the gel plate stuff. I put it in my box to be played with later. In a ball.
Yeah, I rarely throw things away. Sometimes I will, but most of the time I will, even if I'm not crazy about it, I will try to figure something out with it.
Yeah.
I will repurpose it and do something different. This is my favorite doodle, is spirals. Julie, what's your favorite doodle? These were, they're called Jelly Roll, and they're from Walmart. And I wasn't sure if they'd be good, but they actually work pretty good. They're gel pens. It was a set of 3 for less than $6, I think. So you like the diagonal lines? Yeah, I've got those in here. Let me see what else I can put on here. We'll do some hashtags. I like doing this too, Cindy. I like to do like the circle and stack them. It reminds me of fish scales, though. Some people make the coolest doodles, though.
I'm not a good doodler. Mine looked like a 3-year-old did it. And I think there were some 3-year-olds who could actually do it better than me.
You're very hard on yourself.
I guess I am.
You're a perfectionist, aren't you?
I like things to be a certain way, and if they're not that way, then I throw it in the trash. Yeah. Does that tell you something?
I kind of figured it out.
Didn't take long, huh?
Well, no, I could tell that you were hard on yourself.
I have.
It's a hard thing to overcome, want things to be perfect. So this is kind of that's why I said we're going outside our comfort zone.
Yeah.
Doing something different, because we learn when we do things different. Sometimes we learn things that we wouldn't have learned otherwise.
All right. Let's see what we do with this.
Okay, so you don't have to roll the chicken in flour. Well, that's good. That's less carbs. Daggone, those carbs count too. I probably wouldn't even worry about it as much as I do, but that's what took my mom's life. So
Oh, really?
yeah, it is. That's what got her. Swirls. So Julie, do you do swirls like this one? I love watching Darcy doodle. Matter of fact, I was watching her one day and I told her, I said, I just don't know why I can't sit down and do like you do and make things that look like what you make.
Mm-hmm.
And she ended up she was doing letters, and she made a doodle for me one day, and she sent it to me and said, you can use this any way you want. So it's on my phone. It's first thing you see when you get on my phone. But she does really nice doodles. And I've got all kinds of doodles on my phone and my Pinterest.
Mm-hmm.
I save doodles, but
Well,
I
what
don't practice them as much as I should.
Cindy, isn't it Beth that has the cards to where she knows what, like she has cards with doodles on them to where you can, that way you don't have to really think them up. They're cards and you pull one out and that's what you do. It tells you how to doodle it. It tells you how to doodle it, which I think is pretty cool. Let's see.
So she has those as a.
Oh, they're Zentangle cards. That's what they're called. Thank you, Cindy. Zentangle cards. Well, isn't doodling and Zentangling the same thing?
They cross over.
Okay.
They
I always
cross
thought they were the
over.
same thing.
The Zentangles, I think you have to. It's more of a method. Zentangle is a method for filling a page. You start, you kind of make a line from one corner to the opposite corner on, like, if I was going to do Zentangles, I would start by doing this. It's like make a.
Yeah, make a line like that. Yeah.
And then you do the same thing here.
Yeah.
Like this. And then you start dividing those up. And that's
Oh,
when
so you
you come
divide
back
it into little pieces.
right. And you just keep kind of going with that so that you're making more continuous lines.
Because Cindy's saying that you use doodles in Zentangles to create a page that flows together. That's interesting.
So if using that theory,
Uh-huh.
if I take this and bring it down and make
Yeah.
my leaves all the way down, that would be in keeping with incorporation. Is
You
that
only
right?
doodle.
Would you agree with that, Cindy, or am I wrong? I might be wrong. I could be. And that looks like it was meant to be a flower.
Steph, you rarely doodle, but once a year. I sit there and think about what to do. It's like, what am I going to do with this? How am I going to do this? Let's see what Cindy has to say. Doodles. Okay. You make a section of a certain kind of doodles in a area in an area. Zentangles are more than doodles, though. They're drawn flowers or shapes in the boxes.
I know there's a lot of stuff out there on Zentangles.
Zentangles, yeah.
And a lot of people can sit and do it for hours, but I get hand cramps after a while.
Well, I got in the adult coloring book deal, and I know I've got a stack as tall as my, if I didn't have it separated, I would be as tall as my bookcase, full of adult coloring books. And I don't even know what to do with them. I mean, I color on them, but then I get bored. I have to go on to something else. That's why I like that all my craft stuff can be used. Pretty much all of it can be used in 3 or 4 different things because I get bored so easily. I just do.
Julie, a doodle book is a very good thing to have, or sample pages, but I don't have one. I don't have a hard copy, and I probably should. I do have in my Pinterest, I've got a doodle category, and I've got stuff in there that I can go to. But some people just are so elegant with their execution.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm a toddler when it comes to doodling. And that's okay. I mean, if that's where I'm at.
We got to start somewhere, you know. They make you anxious, Cindy?
I know a lot of people can really pull it off. Let me pull, just as an example, let me pull my Pinterest up. I'll show you. I mean, I find stuff all the time that I think is suitable for doodling. Let's see. If you can see this, it's like pattern examples.
Yeah.
Now that's one I think I like, is the circle and the dots. Let's use that one. So we'll go across here. Dash, circle, dash, circle, dash, circle. Circle, dash, circle, dash, circle, dash.
So that had me thinking too much.
Well, there's not going to be but so much thinking out of this brain. It'll start sizzling, saying, "Whoa, it's getting hot."
Tanya McGuire does really good art doodling. Tanya
McGuire. Okay, so let's write that name down.
Yeah, write that down, Lisa.
I'm going to write that down.
Get down.
I have been watching a lady, and I sent Michelle her abstract that she did, but her name is Karen. Her channel is I Am Karen McCoy, and it's McKoy. She is a beautiful person. She has lost 3 children to death. Goodness. So she is a grief counselor, but she also has this thing, slapping paint on paper, and she does journaling. But yeah. I have found her extremely inspiring. Just very, very nice person.
Yeah.
She raises and breeds Rockwallers, and they just
Yeah.
had a litter of pups this week, and she'll tell you about take you on a walk with her around their farm with the dogs, and just talk about the day, and just real nice
Yeah.
person. She comes on in the evenings a lot. I don't catch her live all the time, but I'll
Yeah.
catch her every once in a while. But when I do, I always feel inspired when I
Yeah.
leave. That's what's really nice.
Yeah.
Oops, that's wrong. Whoops.
Oh well.
You can't talk and draw, lady. Oh well. Perfection is not my goal.
Nope, not today. We're
I'm gonna
slapping paint somewhere. I think that's why I'm enjoying gel printing is because you really have no control over it. Not really. You do in a way, but really you don't. You
well,
never know what you're going to end up with.
I don't stress over it. I say, okay, I used to. You get frustrated because I couldn't do it. And now I just say, okay, whatever I get is what I get. And
Yeah.
I know that if I don't like it, there is another phase. So you hear people say there's an ugly phase, and then there's a part where you kind of come into what you want it to be.
Yeah.
And I think that's where it's easy for us to get hung up, is because we expect to turn out work. It looks like something PM Artist has done.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
that's not where I am.
That's not where
And
I'm at
and
either.
I don't want I would love to be there, but that's not where I am. And Christy Hartman's another one. I mean, she can put,
Mm. I'm
beautiful
texting
paint
right
on
quick.
paper.
Hello.
Cindy, I've put it in the chat for you.
My problem is a lot of people come on in the evening or have evening. They do their YouTube stuff out on the evening, the
Right.
live, and so I can't watch them because I spend my evenings with my husband,
Well,
and I
that's the
would.
same here. That's same here. And, I'm not going to do it because I'm not going to take the time to come up here and watch, because for
It's taken
years,
away.
he worked second shift. And that
Yeah.
time was time we didn't have together. So we only saw each other on the weekends.
Yeah.
We slept in the same bed, but nobody was awake at the same time. So,
Yeah.
and, now that he's retired, it's a different thing.
Yeah.
Okay,
My
that's
husband, my husband
one.
works from home, so he's here, but he likes our time.
Well, and it's critical to have time.
Yeah, we
Okay,
have to have our time.
this is like a cursive E's, upside down and right side up. So I'm going to do that in a section. Or else, Felisa. Oh, bubbles.
Bubbles always fun.
And if you wonder what I'm using, it's a calligraphy pen.
Yeah.
It's just what I happen to pick up out of the cup.
Well, I just got me some of the acrylic markers. Got me a set of acrylic markers that I'm just waiting to use.
Is that was the ones you got from Temu?
Yeah, that was a set I got from Temu. I got those, and I got some metallics that you use on the 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 seals, the wax seals. So,
Yes.
like, if I use white or clear, that I can go in and color with them.
How are you feeling about the wax?
I actually have tried it. It's interesting. I enjoyed the trial of it. I think I'm gonna want, because of how I am, I'm gonna need to practice a lot more before I use it for how I'm gonna use it. because I'm actually putting it on my Christmas cards this year. I'm doing stealing my Christmas cards with that this year.
Well, that's going to be
So,
nice.
well, yeah, if I could get out away from myself.
Yeah, but part of art, I think that's part of the journey with art,
Yeah,
is learning how to push yourself a little bit.
just get out of your comfort zone just enough to. Well, I was gonna go straight to the.
Let me see if it'll let me put it in.
Let's see, put this here. Go. It was nobody, sweetheart. It wasn't anybody. Yeah, not a problem.
Sweetheart, they just wanted to make you answer the phone so you could have fun if you weren't busy.
It was one of those phone calls, you know what I'm saying, where they don't answer when you first say hello. They just sit there, and then they want to try to talk right when you're hanging up. It's just like click.
Bots.
Don't want to hear it. I know what you're wanting. Something that I don't want, or ask silly questions about things that don't matter, or something. One of
Cindy,
those.
are you on Facebook under Cindy Loves Jewelry and Paper Arts? So you're mask making. That's the best way to do it.
You mentioned doing clusters this last weekend, Lisa. Last week, and
Yes.
they started me. That's what I did all weekend long.
Well, they're so fun.
You just get going, and there's so different types of things you can do with them.
Yeah, I agree. There
So
are lots of things.
I have a lot of paper clips, and you can make paper clips ones, and you can make them with on. And I have a lot of safety pins, so I did quite a few safety pin ones also.
Oh, here's a good one. Let's see if you can see.
Let me see.
No, I don't want to do that. I don't know how well you can see it.
Those are fun.
Yeah, I'm going to try this one right here with the line and the little circles.
Okay.
Right here.
Let me see where I did
Surely I can draw a line and some circles.
You found Karen? All right.
They're not perfect circles, but hey, they're coming.
They work.
They're working.
If they work, and that's all that matters.
Okay, Julie, I'll try those. She sent me some that she's got in her book.
That's cool.
Okay, this is one of them that Julie sent. So you do a triangle and then you put a dot on each side and underneath it.
That's cool.
I think learning to get the sizes the same is probably a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
You leaving us, Doretha? You gonna work on your bag some more later? Take care. She's gotta go do some stuff for the family. Bye, Doretha. Have fun.
Bye, Doretha. Thank you for coming by. Julie, this one's pretty easy. It's not bad at all. Just need to work on size.
That's where I have a problem too. Is the size, trying to make everything make it look identical. I can't
And I
do
think
it.
that's going to be I might try doing some doodles with a piece of graph paper beside me, because that might be the ticket to help me with my size, to keep my size consistent.
Yeah. Well, I can't keep consistent sizes because I don't see it the way it is to begin with. I'm dyslexic, so
Oh, okay.
I don't see
So
things.
so you would need to stay with circles and lines probably.
I can't draw a regular circle or regular lines. Either one. I can't do neither one of them. Mom's always said my art is eclectic because it's special. I have special artistic abilities because of my dyslexia.
Well, how did you learn to read?
I really like reading out loud on Wednesdays. It really is hard for me to do that because
Well,
I don't like.
It's interesting.
I mean, you've heard me kind of stumble on Wednesdays when I'm reading.
But good grief. Some of those names I stumble over. I mean, I don't know of anybody that I've heard ministers that have been preaching for years get up and not, struggle through the names and pronounce.
Oh, everybody does that. That's a given. You got a name, you're struggling with it.
It's I would not have known that you had dyslexia.
Really?
Yeah, I would not have known that if you had not said that.
Yep.
I did not have dyslexia. I was just slow, slow to learn how to read. And it took my neighbor that lives next door to me when I was in second grade. She realized I was struggling. And she took me to the side and started working with me. And, I was terrified of having to read out loud or read it.
Yeah, I was too.
Yeah. I just couldn't do it.
Yeah. Well, my deal is getting up in front of people and talking.
Oh, I can do that all day long. I was raised in a church that on Sunday mornings would have anywhere from 1,000 to 1,500 people in it.
Oh no!
And I grew up standing up at the podium, in the pulpit, singing. So I, and doing speeches at Christmas and stuff like that. So that's never been an issue for me. But I know my husband, he hates it. He hates getting up and speaking in front of people.
Mm-hmm.
It terrifies him. And he says, I don't understand how you're so cool with it. I said, it just don't bother me. It's just not something that I fret over.
Well, it's not as hard as when I first started, but it was hard for me to come on here on YouTube and do this.
Well, you
only because I know nobody sees me. Only because I know nobody sees me. They see my hand.
And I think that we're all different. God didn't
Yeah.
make us all the same.
Uh,
So I think it's good that the human side of us, as some people would say, warts and all,
yeah.
comes out in our artwork
Yeah.
and in what we do. I think it's better to be who you are
Then
and who
fake
you
it.
say you are than to put on a pretense that you're something you're not.
You're not.
But
Yep.
that's the way I am. That you get me. just plain and simple.
Yeah.
I like the shape that you put on your paper.
I
That's
just
really
threw it on there.
I know, but I think it's going to be cool.
Well, if I did bigger splotches instead of this dainty little fluff that I'm doing, if I painted more area than the little pieces I am, we might get somewhere today. Let me see if I can't do that.
I put my Julie. I picked my phone up when I realized you were telling me you had sent me a message, and look what I've done.
Oh, Lisa.
I drug it through the paint.
Oh,
I
no.
drug it all the way through the paint. My husband said, "You can't keep a phone clean, can you?" No. He always asked me. He said, "Is your computer clean?" And I'm like, "No."
No. Okay. I'm going to start actually using some paint here instead of just dabbing it on there.
You could actually add a little water to what you got on your palette and loosen it up a little bit,
Yeah.
and that
See what
way
it does.
you'd kind of be forced to let it go freer and not
Let's
be
see
as
what it's going to do.
controlled. It's worth a try.
I'm shutting the lid of this paint and I've got me some water on this brush. So
There
I'm
you
seeing
go.
what it's going to do.
Well, some of our arty friends actually use their paint water.
I don't see how they could do that. I'm sorry. My whole insides went at the thought of it. Okay, I'm gonna have to go back to this paint. It's not. If it's gonna do something, it isn't doing it. Let me get a big glob of this mess out here.
It does splatter. And I thought about using my fan brush and making some splatters.
You know what? I've watched that being done. Pia Studio does that.
Yes.
And I've watched her do it, and I thought, oh, how fun! I'd have a mess all over the place.
Oh,
I would.
I have to put something up. I ended up with paint everywhere. My
Yeah,
husband said, "When I come up there, is there going to be paint on the wall?" And I said, "Not if I can help it."
I don't need to.
It wasn't a plan. It wasn't part of the original plan.
Yeah,
I'm still getting paint.
you did a good job, huh?
Hey,
If you're gonna do it good.
yeah, well, hey, I've already got paint on the back of my paper. Look at that. Without even trying.
There you go.
All right. Let's see if I can touch my phone and find another little print. Oh, this is a good one for this time of year. Leaves.
Yeah,
I can definitely make a leaf.
yeah.
You found it impossible to keep the paint off the paper? I know. Okay. I knew you hadn't made a new word, Julie. I'm glad we understand each other. You know how that is.
Mm-hmm.
My kids tease me all the time about my terrible texting skills.
Mm.
And they're better than they used to be.
Mm.
I mean, I have improved with age. I told them I wasn't born with a cell phone in my hand.
Hello. My family still makes fun of me because I still have a flip phone.
Well, if you don't use
I
it for
don't
anything else, it doesn't matter.
I don't use it anyway. I only had it so in case I'm somewhere and my husband's not there with me, which is hardly ever,
Yeah.
then that way I can get in touch with him if I need to.
Well, my kids know that if they're in trouble, they need to call their daddy because he's more likely to catch it right away if they call on the cell phone. Now, if they call the house phone and I hear it's them, I'm gonna pick it right up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm forever getting it on my. I've got this underneath it, and it gets dirty, and I let it get pretty dirty, and then I'll clean it up. I just cleaned it last week on the other side, and thought, okay, I'll start fresh and get this side dirty.
You go. Yeah, they have flip phones now where an actual screen unfolds. Give me my little
I
flip
love
phone that
my
I can
flip.
make.
The first flip phone I had, I loved it. It was Kermit the Frog green,
Uh-huh.
and I carried that thing for the longest time. The battery died in it, and it was one of those that you couldn't take out, so I had to
Yeah.
replace it. We don't like those too much.
No.
We like it when you can take the battery out, but they're going to where you can't, so you're just not going to be able to keep a phone as long.
Yeah, this is true.
They tried to sell us a flip phone, Julie, with the screen, but the reviews on them are not that good. So,
Really?
not the ones with the screens.
That's what's with the screen.
They're not good at all
Oh.
because the screens just don't hold up to that abuse because there's nothing to protect them.
Yeah.
I'm hard on phones though.
I can't say I'm hard on mine. Mine stays in my bag, my purse, whatever you want to call it, all the time. So it just stays there. So it's pretty nice condition because it never comes out.
Yeah, I use mine. I use mine. I use it for all kinds of stuff. Well, my paper's definitely busy.
Well, at least yours is. Mine is, but I'm on my second one, so I have to, I'm still working here.
It's okay. You're not behind.
There we go. See what that makes.
Yeah, Julie, I just don't think those screens for me, I'm forever dropping my phone. I have to put the most durable case on it that we can find to make sure I don't bust it up right away.
Let's see. It's not working up here.
Hearts and daisies. Julie said when she doodles, she wants to make hearts and daisies.
I like doing swirls.
Yeah, I like doing swirls too, and
That's what
dots.
it usually ends up being swirls. It is where it usually goes, is into swirls when I.
Let's see if I can find a place to put a heart for Julie.
Yeah.
Right here.
There you go. There. This here.
Julie, I'm putting your initials on here.
There you go. All right, I'm going to turn this around. I had to untape it first, though, on the table I'm working on. There we go.
All right, now I'm going to do MW.
All right.
And I'm going to put my initials. I used to have to write my initials about 100 times a day when I worked.
Yeah.
If not more, because everything you do as a teller, you have to Stamp it with your teller stamp, and you have to initial it.
Yeah.
Hand initial it. So, yeah. And let's see, Stephanie. What's Stephanie's last name?
Hold on a minute. Let me put this brush down. I've got it written down somewhere. I know it is. I think it starts with a B.
Okay, that's all I need. SB.
I think it starts with a B.
I see her spot right here. And then we have Dorothea, who was here earlier.
Mm-hmm.
What's her last name?
It starts with a C.
So DC.
C as in cat.
DC.
CC. That paint water looks yuck.
Almost ready to use.
Shoot. I was ready to go down the garbage disposal.
You're going to
I only have this. I have just one little piece left to put something on. So I'll let it sit here for a moment and contemplate itself to drying. See if it'll dry for me. Go through and pop some pink where it didn't get any paint at. And let this dry. These are clean. There we go. Now I've got to let it dry. That's the hardest thing to do after you get done with something, is letting it dry.
I know that was one of the things when we would do ceramics. You wanted to work, but if you didn't let it dry, you'd get that paint would bleed into the other colors, especially if it was something white.
Mm-hmm.
Steph, I put your initials on here. Did you see them?
Okay, Julie. I get this paint to dry.
There's nothing like watching paint dry, right?
Oh, no. And acrylics generally will dry. You know, they dry pretty quickly. And I know when I'm gel printing, this paint dries quick. But because of what I'm doing, it's not drying as quick as it usually does.
Yeah, it dries real fast. When I'm trying to gel print, I don't have
even have the fan
to
on.
play. I really have to move fast to
You
get.
have to move fast. Yeah, I
Yeah,
can't have the fan on when I'm gel printing. Can't have it. Can't have it on.
yeah. We're probably not that much different in humidity and heat
Yeah,
from where you are to where I am. Until wintertime, we're pretty close in temperatures,
yeah,
I think.
yeah. Till it gets winter, and then it's
A whole different thing because we just don't get the cold that you get.
oh man, it can get cold. And they're talking about a hard winter out here too.
Well, I think it's going to be if nuts are any indication, we have had just an unbelievable amount of acorns to fall down.
Mm,
And it's been about 5 years since we had this many. And the last time it did this, we had quite a few snow and ice storms. So
yeah,
we're braced for it.
yeah, we're ready for it, getting ready for it anyway. It's because I already said that it was going to be a rough one. I'm like, great, because I don't go out in winter anyway. You know, I'm like, y'all have a good time. Ain't moving. It's too dangerous for me to be out and about.
Yeah, I'm a little more cautious than I used to be. It used to be that when we got a snow, we would have a snow day.
Yeah,
And if everything shut down, we'd be out sledding on
playing
the
it.
back hill. If Bill'd
Yeah,
go to work and me and the girls, we'd be back on the back hill and coming in, having hot chocolate breaks and just having a good old time. But I am less likely to get out, and I definitely will not be getting out this winter
yeah, I know
doing
I
any
won't be
winter
either.
activities like that. Because if I tear my knee up,
Oh, yeah,
it
that
would
would not be
be
good.
bad, bad.
Yeah. All right, I'm about to start yanking.
All right, I'm ready to listen.
Whoops, don't rip the paper. You have to kind of tear it off like you put it on, you know? That helps matters.
Yeah, Cindy. There's never any shortage of nuts in our area, but I was talking specifically about acorns. We went to vote yesterday because my daughter didn't have to work full day, and she said, "Let's all go together." So we certainly said, "Okay, we'll all go together." So we rode together up to the library, and I ran into a couple of bank customers that I had from many years ago, and one of them come up and hugged me. It was so cute. He said, "It's not the same anymore." I said, "Yeah, I've heard." I met a lot of people though, because living in a small town and there's
Uh
only
huh.
two banks in town, and you're working at one of them, you get to know just about everybody and their brother, literally.
Hmm. Let's got some
Oh,
paper with this one.
that's looking like stained glass.
I got paper with that one though. Yeah, it's looking cool. I'm liking it.
Ooh, you know what would be cool if
What
we
would be cool?
did if we got our a piece of black paper
I don't
and
have
did
any black
that
paper. And you
color.
know what would been even cooler? What would been even cooler is if I had done this in metallics. Hmm.
Maybe we should experiment.
To play some more on with it.
Yeah, yeah,
Do a
I'm
show and tell next week when so we could play with it and see what happens. Yeah, it's stuck to this tape stuck to the paper this time around. Versus
maybe Cindy said, laugh out loud. In my town, I am kin to them all. My dad was the oldest of 10 plus 2 half brothers and 2 half sisters. So basically 14 total. That's crazy.
Not.
And her mother was the youngest of 7. That's the way, if I go into Virginia where my family came from,
Yeah.
you can't go anywhere without running into somebody that's related.
Well, what was bad is growing up in the little town I did, everybody knew you and your grandparents. So if you did something and your mom and dad don't know nothing about it, well, I'll tell you they'll know pretty soon.
Yeah, my husband used to say that the grapevine was the biggest network he'd ever seen, because he'd do something, and before he could get home, one of his mama's friends had already called and told her.
Yep.
I said, yeah, it sounds about right. Because she knew so many people, because she grew up, right in the heart of the town.
Yeah.
And she was friends with a lot of the Greeks in the community, and their network was really big as far as, getting the word out.
Yeah, getting stuff out. Yeah. Well, there we go.
That is very pretty.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah. If you don't do the walnut at all, that would make some beautiful cards, journal cards.
Well, what I was thinking is that they'd make really cool, like bases for I just lost the word I wanted, for clusters.
Yeah.
It was in a town of 10. They had 1,000 people. Only tried being a preacher's kid. There was no such thing as a secret in a town of 1,000.
Yeah, preacher's kids had it rough. The ones I
Yeah.
grew up with, yeah,
Cool.
they were just expected to be little angels, because daddy
Usually they're the most mischief making.
Well, I
Yeah, but
can't
then
really
again,
say. I mean, I know that people always thought, well, they were bad kids, but they were just kids.
they're just kids.
They
They're
were
just
just
being
kids
kids.
doing what kids do.
Yeah, this is true.
Shouldn't have been, held to a different standard. The way I look at it, but
This is true.
that's me.
That's
We're
how it
all
was.
human.
Yep.
Well, it's about time for me to go. Yep, about
Me
time for
too.
me to go, because it's time for us to go take our afternoon walk.
Yeah, same here. You want to start trying next Friday? Start about 1:30.
Okay.
Does that work for you? Better for you?
It's fine, because usually on Fridays we are kind of low key unless he decides he wants to go somewhere. And if that's the case, I'll let you know. But yeah, we'll try to do the Friday thing at 1:30.
Okay, let's do it then. That way we can get done pretty at a reasonable time for me and you both.
Okay.
Okay. Well, let's let them go. Y'all have some fun. Thank y'all for coming and hanging out with us.
If you haven't given a thumbs up, if you'll get that thumbs up, and if you talk to anybody, tell them to come and
come
play with Michelle.
Come on and play. I don't care how many. If there's a way for me to get more people on, they want to join us, come on. I'll figure it out. Bye, Julie.
Bye, Julie. Have a good weekend.
Steph. I'm glad y'all were here. I appreciate it. You will see me and Lisa again Friday, unless Lisa has something going on. I'll be here. I will be here on Friday at 2 o'clock. Monday at 2 o'clock. Doing I don't know what. We'll figure out when we come on at 2 o'clock on Monday. So, and Wednesdays is Bible study. So I will see y'all next week. Y'all have a wonderful weekend.
Bye-bye.
Bye, y'all. Love y'all. Bye. Bye, Lisa.
Bye-bye. You have a good weekend, okay?
You too.
It was fun.
It was. Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Oh.